Hey everyone, and welcome back. So I'm gonna go over really quick. This won't take very long. How I'm doing this. So, as far as making these things huge, this also works if you need to make things smaller. But let me explain. Some people, like I have a 300 millimeter by 300 millimeter by 300 millimeter build area. I'm using the Creality K-1 Max FDM printer. But some people don't have that big of a print bed, and the actual size of the part doesn't quite fill in their bed. So like with mine, this is part one of the floor, and sometimes this is just even in itself too big to print on whatever machine you're using. So you may need to reduce, if you don't want to reduce the size of the model, you may need to cut it. So let me get into that. So this is floor one, part one of the Silver Coin, Silent Coin Tavern and Inn from Loot Studios. I'm currently printing these things at 220%, which as you can see is too big even for that 300 by 300 by 300. So what I have to do is I have to bring it over to another program called Meshmixer. So let me go ahead and bring that in, and I will import the same exact file, part one, and show you what that looks like. So this is part one, the same one on Meshmixer. So since if you have a smaller build plate and you want to print this, but the whole thing as itself won't fit on your bed, you can do this. Or if you want to expand this, make it bigger, you can do the same thing. So let me bring this over a little bit so you see what I'm doing. Go to edit down here, go to plane cut. And this brings up your plane that you're going to cut, but we don't want to cut it horizontally, we want to cut it vertically. So I take the green line and bring it over, and I get it pretty well as close as I can to 90%. Doesn't have to be exact, right to there. What you want to make sure is you're not clipping this edge here on this piece, or anything that have major overhangs on it, because then you're going to have to do major work with your supports. So that looks good here. Over here to cut, I go to slice, keep both, accept it, and then immediately go down to separate shells. And what that does is that puts it in a little box like this. So that's that side and that's that side. So to cut this side, I'll make sure that's highlighted. Edit, plane cut, again brings it up like it did before horizontally. I want to make it vertically, back to as close to 90 as you can, right there. And then I want to bring it this way. Grab tab, bring it over again to 90, fairly close. And zoom in a little bit and see what I'm actually cutting. I don't really want to cut this tight, so I can bring it this way a little bit and totally miss all that overhang. So this will be one full piece here. There we go. And then this will be the other piece. So again, slice, keep both, accept, and then separate shells. So now it made that part, that one, and then this one is, I don't know why it does this, but it's a dead part, so you can actually delete that one. So select the one you haven't cut yet, which is this one. Again, go to edit, plane cut, bring it back to vertical, adjust it 90 degrees, so we cut that lengthwise or sideways, again to 90. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect because each one of these pieces are going to fit together. And then slide over this way just a little bit. See what I'm cutting here. Okay, it looks good. Go ahead and keep both, accept, and separate shells. So when you're done, you end up with 4. That one, that one, that one, and that one. So before you can take these over and start printing them, you have to export these. So highlight one of them, hit File, Export, and I've already done it here, but you want to label your part 1 of 1. You can do that through every one of those 4 pieces. So it's going to label it part 1 of 1. Don't want to replace it? Sure, why not? Let it compute. And when it's done computing and saving and all that thing, then you go to the next one. Again, File, Export, part 1 of 2, and so on all the way through it. You don't want to go up here, go to File, hit Save As, because then it'll try and save it as a Meshmixer format. So you can go back in and play with it again. You don't want to do that. So, once those are all saved, and label them, recommendation, label them part 1.1, part 1.2, so you don't get them mixed up. And when that's all done, go back over to whatever slicer you're using, like so, and then import that part. So we're going to do just 1/4 of that piece 1. And that's what it came out to be. And then you go up here to expand, make that whatever size you want, whatever percentage you want. And at 220, it will fit on the plate, just like that. You'll print that one and the other 4, and when they're all printed, put them together, make sure they're all lined up, glue them, and now you've got the new part 1 of 1, or part 1 at 220%. So I hope this helped somebody out there to kind of see how easy that actually is to use. Don't forget to do that separate shells on Meshmixer, because that kind of messed me up for a little bit. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't bringing it up. So, but yeah. So until next time, keep on printing. See you soon.